Okay, so let's get into some EDC stuff. Not necessarily, well, yeah, we're going to go over some specifics on what it is you can carry, but want to really get into the why. There's a lot of guys that just, hey, I have a phone, great, but why? Why would we carry this stuff? All this stuff over here is trying to avoid or diffuse a confrontation. And then obviously you have your stuff that, check your Instagrams and make purchases for the wife. But so let's get into, you're actually getting into some kind of confrontation. So initially you want to diffuse it with your words or whatever it is. So you guys are seeing, lighters here. Why? Typically, guys belligerent, or gal, you gals are belligerent as well, potentially drunk or whatever, and maybe you shoot, slow the guy down, calm his temper with maybe some cigarettes. And so having a lighter on you, even if you don't smoke, can help out with that kind of situation. It's not something guys really think about, but if you get into like your normal Bics, these can be weapons as well. So you bring this thing out, light a cigarette, keep it on you, and if he decides that it's going to get silly, this little corner right here really doesn't feel good. So it's a quick little jab in there and then get out of the situation. I'm no longer fighting for my honor or starting, bar fights for the hell of it. I just want to get out of there. So if I'm going to try to get out of that situation, I'm going to cheat. And they can call me a coward or whatever they want, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to use whatever I have on me just to give them a little pop, make them think about it, and then I'm leaving. So also use it to wrap your hands around, might make a nice knuckle there, and hopefully you don't break your hands, which will typically happen if you get to that situation. But the original concept of this is to, constructively and civilly diffuse the situation, and if it doesn't work, you can get rowdy with it. Now your next phase is your flashlights over here, and I have an array of them. So some of your older, cheaper ones, your more streamlined ones, and then obviously your more updated, really savvy stuff here. The point being is that, just get one if it is something that you choose to use. You don't have to get the baddest fucking thing out there. This thing is massive, so trying to hide it could be a problem. If it's not a concern for you, then don't worry about it. Maybe a lot of guys carry flashlights where you're at. Or you can just make a utility belt and get some badass leather holster for this thing. But anyway, so flashlights, how they're used, they're really, really effective. So if the individual, again, is all bare-fisted knuckle stuff and wants to get rowdy, and he starts coming after you, like this thing right here is really disruptive. And they don't really expect it, It's kind of a submarine move, Oh my God, we're getting in a fight, and all of a sudden I blind him, and he's just not expecting that. It could be enough to give you this, advantage to slide around the dude and get out of the situation. Again, I'm not trying to defend my honor. I'm just trying to get out of there. But if it doesn't, this is enough to give you the upper hand, and then the end of this thing really doesn't feel good. Again, I'm going to cheat as much as I can. And so if I bop you on the nose with this thing or on the top of your cranium, it really doesn't feel good. A lot of these EDC flashlights come with these, rigid ends here, so these jagged edges on the end, and that's not by mistake or by design. It's for a purpose. That right there on the top of your dome will not feel good. So you can take a core sample and get yourself out of there. And then a lot of the older models obviously don't have that. They were serving a different purpose at the time. But regardless, this still will not feel good. So you can diffuse the situation with this passively and non-violently and get out. If it does have to go there, you can use it as a weapon. Pretty savvy. Now you think I'm going to go to the knives next. I'm not. I'm going to the handgun. Right now, this is a G48, and I use the, what are these guys, shield arms. So I got 15 rounds in the magazine, one in the pipe, and this is a Black Hawk custom holster, so inside the waist belt. I think we all know what the handgun's for. So it does have a flashlight on it, but understand that I can't pull this thing and start flashing, lighting people like I would with this thing, because I just drew my handgun. As soon as I show this to anybody, like I present it to anybody, I have crossed the line of the legal system. And now I'm in deep shit. So I got to be sure that this individual's a threat. So if he has a knife, or he also has a gun, this thing's going to come out. And I may have to skip all these things. This thing will come out, and ultimately you're giving them a choice. A really quick one. So if they back away, that's your chance to get out of there. You don't want to raise to that level of having your CONUS kill. As cool as it sounds, even if you're justified, it's going to ruin your life for the next year, 2 years. Just depends on where you're at and how crammed the legal system is there. And then like anything else, like MMA and stuff, you're putting your hands at the judges. So you really want to be sure that that is the way to go. And it's pretty easy to know. The guy has a knife. The guy has a gun. Or gal. Again, you guys are rowdy too. That's a pretty clear sign. Anything else you can use to get out of the situation, sure, they got a weapon. That's it. It's clearly defined. Pull that thing. But to get into why knives, like the question was asked me before, like if you're carrying a gun, then why would you carry a knife? Because if you are in close proximity with another individual, and this is a, automatic pistol, semi-automatic pistol, it's very easy for them to grab this thing, throw this thing out of battery, and now I'm not able to discharge that weapon. Also, if I lose the weapon in a scuffle, you got to have backups. So this is where knives come in. And I have, from your advantage, from right to left, yep, what I would carry. On your right here is this Benchmade Infidel. It is an automatic blade. So I am not a fan of spring-loaded knives. Let's see if I can do it because of that. Because it's not fully seated. Very easy to push back in. And this thing is basically brand new. I never really used it. I'm sure if I put some oil in there, it would fix the situation, but I would always be thinking about this thing, like, I hope it works. Plus also, along with some of these other ones, it's a clip-mounted belt, so obviously you see folks, put it in their pockets, and it's the standard, operating procedure, guys walking around with belts in their pockets, and I just don't appreciate that anymore. As soon as I see that, it was like, oh, you're somebody. At a minimum, they're carrying a knife. I don't want to present that to anybody. I just want to look like a normal dude with sleeve tattoos and a beard. But getting back to this, I really don't like spring-loaded. I highly don't recommend them. It's super cool, and it's called the Infidel. That's cool. So here's another spring-loaded knife, Benchmade. I'm actually a real fan of Benchmade, even though I'm crapping on them right now. Another spring-loaded. This is the flip side one. You can see it's actually going really slow, and it stopped right there because I've had this one for a long time. So again, going to the fact that I don't like spring-loaded knives. If I just clean this thing and lubed it, it'd be fine, but I have other options that I'll get to. Another belt or clip-mounted one. Don't prefer it. This guy, a Benchmade again. Not spring-loaded. You have to actually push this sucker out, and you can see it's really hard because I've had this thing for a long time as well. Probably just need to loosen up a screw in here and be fine. These are fun. These are cool. But to get back into reasons why I don't like foldable knives is because maybe in a pinch I get this thing out and it looks like it's locked in, but it's not. And I go to do something and this thing breaks, closes on my hand. And I've actually seen that a couple of times, which was kind of crazy. I thought it'd be a kind of a fluke kind of thing, but I just don't care for them anymore. Again, I used them for a long time. Long time, had folding knives, used them forever. But this day and age, I just don't care for them. Another Benchmade, crazy. But this is the actual sock P blade that I'm sure guys are really, really familiar with. And it's cool. It's really, really huge as far as carrying EDC stuff. But this thing only really serves one purpose, and that's poking and prodding. If guys, have ever taken knife classes, you know that poking holes in people really doesn't do much in regards to trying to kill them. Because an individual can take that, a lot of those, and what really needs to happen is if you're in a knife fight, you need to create these large wounds to put that person down. You just imagine, getting shot with a little 22 100 times. Maybe they go down, maybe they don't. Who knows? Just depends on how much penetration you get with this. But you can only do one thing with this, and that's punch. You can't really slice or cut or whatever. So not preferred. These are my not preferreds, and that's after many years of carrying knives. Now to the ones I prefer are your fixed blades, and I've had this thing for a long time. I've actually rubbed the handle raw there. There's no more rubber on anymore, but this one's a little bit bigger, but I've carried it for probably 3 or 4 years now. And I carry it on my front just like I do my appendix carry with my handgun. So I can draw with my left hand, I can draw with my right hand, just depends, you know, if I'm scuffling, the guy has my handgun hand, and then my left hand is free, I can just grab my knife and fix that. So if you're carrying it like on your left side, it's really hard with your right to get it, etc. Just a preference thing. I like to have access with both my hands for this. And it's a fixed blade. It's there. As soon as I pull it, it's fully extended. I don't have to worry about it coming unlocked. It's always there. So I have taken a leap over the last 4 or 5 years, whatever, into fixed blades. So that is what I prefer. And then this is the new that I just got from Winkler. Both these are Winkler knives. Again, a little bit smaller print, which, you know, my frontal area will appreciate. And I still have my fixed blade with a actual wood handle, so I won't rub off that grip anymore. Long blades, so I can punch, I can poke, I can slice, I can cut, I can do everything I want. So all those Amazon boxes better be running right now. That's all I really use it for. Yep, and then your final straw, you know, things go down, use your phone. Always have a phone on you. So hopefully this guys will give you ideas of, you know, the why you should carry stuff. And there's some old flashlights out there that still do the job. Everyday carry, handguns, it just depends on what you got. You can make anything work. And then knives, hopefully you really consider what it is you're using your knife for. You know, if it's everyday just cutting, open up Amazon boxes, then okay. If you really truly want it as a backup system to defend yourself or your loved ones, I highly recommend you look into fixed blades. And don't smoke. It'll kill you. All right, so questions, comments, let us know, and we'll try to answer them. Das ist alles. Ich weiß nicht.